Right, let's hope these guys at HK pick up. Just can't believe I'm getting turned down when I'm trying to be nice. Hello, it's Shaun here from Völsungur. Hope you guys are doing well despite being knocked out in that second qualifying round of the Conference League. Just want to state that we do have players here available for loan if you guys need any help. We've got the likes of Kurt Shaw coming off contract end of the season. He's available to pick up. Just if you need help, we're here to offer it because we would like Iceland to keep growing and we can't do everything by ourselves. Hello? Trying to help. Hello everyone and welcome to episode number 61 of Husavik Heroes here on Shaun Does FM. I hope you are doing well, and coming up in today's episode we have the third qualifying round of the Champions League taking on Olympiakos from Greece across two legs. So if you are looking forward to this one, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying this series here on the channel, also consider hitting that subscribe button and turning that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated. But before we get into a recap of what has happened in between today and yesterday's episode, which was the second qualifying round, if you missed that one, I'll leave a link to it above my head in the top right corner. We do bring you guys an update from the Conference League, and as you might have been able to tell by the intro, things did not go well for the Free Icelandic teams. Of course, this was the first time that the Free Icelandic teams did get into the second qualifying round after our increase in the coefficient a few seasons ago, but unfortunately they weren't able to make the most of it. You can see right up the top there, HK being knocked out by CSKA Sofia 2-0. We make our way down a little bit further, now down towards the bottom. We'll just get it towards the middle of the screen. Keflavik being knocked out 5-1 by Dynamo Zagreb, which, to be fair, was a bit of a harsh matchup for those guys. And going down a little bit further, looking for the last of the Icelandic teams, and there they are, Valur yet again. They really struggle in European qualifying, losing 6-0 on aggregate to FK Partizan of Serbia. So yet again, we are the lone Icelandic team representing in European football this season, but at least we have already got to a stage where even if we do lose these next two ties in European qualifying, we will at least end up in the Conference League, which would be a decent competition for a team of our strength these days. But since the end of yesterday's episode, where we did take on Sarajevo, we have played one Islands-Dielding game. As you can see on screen, we lost it, which is extremely rare. It's been a very long time since we've lost a domestic game, but this was one of those ones where we did, putting out a rotated team, and Nuts got off to an absolute flyer in this game, putting us on the back foot early away from home in the yellow and blue. Really good finish there into the top right corner by Adel Steinsson, and then about 8 minutes before half time they did make it 2-0. So this first half is what proved costly. The goal scorer slotting through Sugo Gerson there, and he slots it away in the bottom right corner to make it 2-0. We did grab a goal back with about 25 minutes left to go. Garrido floats one, and a nice little header there from Yao Pedro for Cadena, who came off the bench to get a goal, but it was not enough, and that is our first domestic defeat, as I said, in quite some time, especially in the league. It's been a good few seasons. I think the latter part of our second season in this division was the last time that we did suffer a defeat domestically in the league, but luckily we did still have a decent lead on the league table at this stage, so it hasn't hurt us too much. Still 6 points clear of Valur, HK and Lechner all in a tight bunch group. With that game in hand, that could extend back out to 9 points. So not panicking too much yet. Hopefully that one just a blip on the radar for our league season this time around. But today we are in the third qualifying round of the Champions Path of the Champions League. There you can see the other ties in this Champions Path. We are taking on Greece's Olympiakos. We ran through this towards the end of yesterday's episode. The first team that we've actually played from a league which is actually in the game. So these guys are probably going to be a little bit trickier than what we've faced so far this season. They've got the likes of Rob Holding in defence in their team. That's probably the most notable name in that lineup that we can see there, but a very good team, absolutely dominant in recent history in the Greek Super League, and hopefully we'll be able to handle the slight step up here and take care of these guys to reach the Champions League playoff for the third season in a row. If we make our way back to that draw, though, we can tell you guys which tie we are keeping an eye out for that Champions League playoff should we beat Olympiakos. In today's episode, we have been drawn against the winner of Young Boys and Cluj, two teams that we have a little bit of history with in this save so far. Young Boys, a bit of a mixed record against the boys from Wankdorf, and Cluj, I believe, we've got a good record against when we did take them on in one of the first few seasons in Europe in this save. So if we can get past Olympiakos, that is our tie. Arguably, Olympiakos could be better than both of those teams. So if we can win this one, hopefully we can make our way into the Champions League group stages for back-to-back seasons. But it's time to find out if we can do that. We'll come back shortly for the first leg from Greece in the third qualifying round of the Champions League. And we do have TV coverage for this game. There is the Olympiakos team, pretty similar to what we saw on the club info page before. They've got a Mafio at right back, not Victor Mafio, formerly of Völsungur. There is our team, same starting lineup as what we have had recently, with Arnason still starting at right wing, with Patrick Nygaard being injured. And we'll see what we can do here in the away leg. 16 minutes gone, an early highlight in our favour. It is a corner. We try and pick out someone there at the near post. Mbiyamba wins a header to put it back in the mixer and does so again. Arnason, top right corner. He is on a great run of form, goal scoring wise. He scored a very similar goal in yesterday's episode. That one a little bit closer towards the centre of the box, but we make it 1-0, and that could be a very big goal away from home. A bit of aerial ping pong from that corner that we did have, and Arnason with that free finishing, it seems a heck of a lot better than that based on what we've seen the last few episodes. And just after a quarter of an hour, it's Völsungur 1, Olympiakos 0 in Greece. Just before half-time, it is a goal kick in Olympiakos' favour. Hopefully we can get on the end of this, and we do through Ian Carlo so far. Complete domination from us here. Olympiakos yet to have a shot. We've only had the one shot on target from our 5 attempts, but luckily that did find the back of the net. It's a little bit sloppy there from the passer and from Benjamin Rubio, who didn't get back to head that back, and we are under pressure here, and it's a great chance there for Henry Onyekelu, just puts it wide, and it does remain 1-0 Völsungur, just shy of half-time. And there is one more highlight before we do get to half-time, a corner which we do thankfully deal with. Looks like Olympiakos might have sprung into gear right before half-time. Far post ball, Leandro Diaz deals with that, still in the first team, still reasonably happy at the club, albeit disappointed he wasn't allowed to join Hellas Verona. But once the issues came up in yesterday's episode, they didn't put another bit in, and that one goes straight through the hands of Sierra Fellini, and that's a big goal right before half-time. It looked like they might be coming back into this with that previous highlight, and right on the stroke of half-time, with about half a minute left of the 1 minute of added time, Henry Onyekuru given a lot of space there down the left-hand side. Sierra Fellini probably should be saving that, goes through his hands, and after starting that half off really well, as you can see by the XG graph and the stats, those two shots were the ones that we did see in those last few highlights. It does end up being 1-1 at halftime, which feels a little harsh, but still not a bad result to be taking into the home league. If it does stay that way, we'll tell the boys they're doing all right, but we need to be better in front of goal, because so far enough shots but not enough on target. We'll make no changes here at half-time and see if there's anything else that happens in the second half. Okay, 66 minutes gone here. No highlights so far in the second half. Worth noting, Young Boys 4, Cluj 0 in the first leg of that game. So Young Boys in a very good position to be making the Champions League playoff against one of us and Olympiakos. But we're going to make our first substitution. Corbo, not on a yellow heart yet, but only a 6.4 rating. So Kurt Shaw can come on for him. And only a few minutes later, we're going to make another change and another update in that Young Boys game. It's now 5-1, so the difference does remain the same. But Benjamin Rubio on a 6.5, not really firing today, albeit not many highlights he has been able to get involved in. Pedro on for him, still 1-1 with just under 20 minutes left. And shortly off the back of that second substitution, we do have a free kick. Finally, a highlight here in the second half. We try and pick out Kadena there at the far post, but the Olympiakos defence do deal with it and head that back to their goalkeeper in Kiorkos, and he pumps this deep. Hopefully we can deal with it, and we do. Mbiyamba up to Pedro. Nice ball there for Arnason. Probably too tight of an angle for him to try and make it a double in this game. It squares that nicely for Nicolusi Caviglia, but it's a bit of a wild shot, and it does remain 1-1 with about 13 minutes left in this game, and we are going to make our last substitution with Arnason down to a red heart. We could bring on either Bjarkason or Sekularek, and based on recent form, I think Sekularek's actually been the better of those players, so we'll see what Sekularek can do as a right winger. Certainly not his natural position, but we'll see what he can do. You can see there, based on average ratings, Sekularek indeed has been the better of those two recently. So we'll make that sub at right wing and see if we can make a breakthrough here in these last 12 minutes. And entering injury time in this game, it's been a very quiet second half. Olympiakos picking up a few yellow cards after that chance we did have to Nicolusi Caviglia, but it does finish 1-1, a game which we were fairly dominant in, but unfortunately couldn't find the breakthrough to get the advantage over Olympiakos. But away from home in Greece, that is not a bad result at all. I think that slightly edges things in our favour going into the second leg back in Iceland. We'll just go forward and see what the other scoreline did end up in that tie, which we are keeping an eye out on, between Young Boys and Cluj heading into the Champions League playoff. And it did finish 5-1, so Young Boys in a very strong position there. The other teams who did win in the Champions path of Champions League qualifying: Hammarby, Maccabi Tel Aviv, a draw between us and Olympiakos; Rangers with a narrow win, and it was a draw between Shakhtar and Bate as well. But we're in a decent position going into the home league, and we'll come back with that shortly, unless anything happens in between now and then. And we are back before the second game, because a potentially big transfer could be happening. Now, this is a player who we did have on trial at the start of this year, and he ended up going to Hammarby over us. We offered him exactly the same money, but he was a bit disappointed with our offer compared to Hammarby's for some reason. But after 6 months, he has requested a transfer. Bayern Munich have gone in for him. So I've decided that we're going to adjust our budget a little bit and try to get him as well. This deal would cost us £2.1 million. I'm not too sure how much of a chance we do actually have here, considering there's interest from Bayern Munich, and I believe there's also some interest from Juventus as well. But this is a player we really should have got on our books. I was disappointed we couldn't get him over the line when it was a free transfer. Having to spend £2.1 million on this guy, not ideal, but he is an 18-year-old Brazilian who looks exceedingly promising. He would be quite comfortably the best player at the club should he come here, I feel. He looks like a very exciting left winger, so we'll see what we can do if we can bring this guy to the club. If we can, probably means that we're quite overloaded in terms of left wingers, but he just looks like too good a player to turn down, especially while he is interested in rejoining us here at Völsungur after turning us down at the start of the season once International did let him go. Only played the one game for Hammarby and is obviously not too impressed with how the Swedish team has handled him so far. Hopefully he will come here in search of more game time, which he would get, especially compared to the likes of Bayern Munich and Juventus, who I believe are also after this guy. If we go over to the transfer status, indeed Bayern, it's actually Dortmund and Milan also after him. Not too sure where I got Juventus from, but some big clubs after this guy. We'll see how we can do competing with those guys. Hopefully our promise of more regular first team football than those ones will likely give him might sway him in our favour. That would be a very big transfer, one of the biggest ones that we have made in the save so far, and he would be a guaranteed first team starter out on that left hand side, albeit with a weak left foot. That's a little bit of a concern, but some of those nice green attributes, he looks like a superb talent who we could get into the club here after letting him slip through our fingers at the start of this season. While we're here, we'll also update you guys on the game that we did play in between the Olympiakos ones. It was in the Malka Bikeren, a 2-0 win over HK, so that's a really good bounce back from that loss in the league. Opening the scoring nice and early here at home with a second-minute goal to Bjarkason. Ledson's able to put this one towards the far post. Simple tap in there for the Icelandic winger playing on the right-hand side, while Nygaard is out injured, and we have loaned out Fredrik Larsson at the moment as well. So that's why Ledson's on the left, Bjarkason on the right, and with 15 minutes to go, Pedro gets slotted through nicely to make it 2-0, and a fairly comfortable win for us there to see us go through to the semi-finals, where we will take on Keflavik, another team who took part in Conference League qualifying. So we are running the gauntlet of those teams in the Mulka in this season. If we can get past those guys, we should be in with a great chance of picking that up for the second straight season. But unfortunately, since the first league, we have also suffered an injury, and that is to Christian Sekulerak. He has suffered a double hernia, out for 5 to 6 weeks. However, Patrick Nygaard has recovered from his hamstring strain, so that means that he can come onto the bench to replace Sekulerak. So we'll try and get him some football, ease him back from his injury, and hopefully off the back of that draw in the first league, we can finish off Olympiakos and make our way through to the Champions League playoff here in the second league at our home away from home, the Laugardas Villa. And right into the action in the second league, we have a highlight from the kickoff, albeit Olympiakos are in possession. Hopefully, we can get the ball back here and strike nice and early in this one. If they did get a goal early, that would certainly shape things up for the second league, and they are holding the ball up quite nicely here. And through goes Angel Kulipis. Not too sure if that's actually his name. He gets a shot off, luckily, just over the bar, but an early shot there from Olympiakos does remain 1-1 on aggregate after 3 minutes. 8 minutes gone, and this time we are on the attack. Hopefully, we can grab a goal to put ourselves in front in this tie and get the advantage here in front of our home fans, seeing as we are in Reykjavik. And Ian Carlo makes his way here down the right-hand side. Nicolusi Caviglia Cadena at the far post. The goalkeeper ended up in absolutely no man's land, albeit a little bit hard to tell the difference between the goalkeeper and the actual Olympiakos rest of team kit there, but given a ton of space there at the far post was Sergio Cadena. Gets a goal to go alongside his yellow card early in the second leg. It is 2-1 Völsungur inside the first 10 minutes. And not too long off the back of that is Olympiakos clearing their lines there through their goalkeeper, but Nicolusi Caviglia tracks back a fair way there and tidies things up for us as we look to build from the back and hopefully get a cushion goal in this game just to get a little bit of safety and hopefully start to make our way towards the Champions League playoff. Good, another chance here for Cadena, but he just scuffs that shot a little bit, but we're starting to create a bit of momentum. Still 1-0 up on the day, approaching the 15-minute mark. And not long off the back of that last highlight, we are on the attack again. That's a really poor pass, that one though, from Nicolusi Caviglia. Great slide tackle there though from Galtason to stop that attack, and it's a good ball for Rubio. Tries to take it round the goalkeeper, but Cisse, I believe that was with a good block, so it's all action here early. Still 1-0 at the 16-minute mark, and we have yet another highlight not long off the back of this one, so this is looking like a much more entertaining affair than that first leg. Another ball here for Rubio, this time slots it away in the bottom right corner, but he is offside, and it will remain 1-0 on the day, 2-1 on aggregate after 16 minutes. A bit hard to tell from that angle, but looks like he was a slight step offside, and the scoreline does remain that way after 18 minutes. 23 minutes gone, another highlight here. It's a free kick to Olympiakos, but really poorly taken there from their goalkeeper, and we get possession back on the halfway line, and he scrambles back into position there, does their goalkeeper. Hopefully we can get on the attack nice and early while he does get back, albeit it's probably a little bit too late now, but at the least, hopefully, we get another chance to try and get a cushion goal in this game. Cadena, who's the opening goal scorer for us, just holding up play. Leandro Diaz, a bit of space down the left. It's a deflected cross. It falls oh so kindly to Porstein Arnason. It's an incredibly fluky goal, but we will take it, and we are up by 2 goals about halfway through the second leg and do have that cushion goal that we were after. Very lucky with the way that this came off the defender off Diaz. He puts a slide tackle in. It just loops over the goalkeeper, falls nicely to Arnason over Oleg, and we are 2-0 up at the 25-minute mark. 6 minutes shy of half-time, and Olympiakos do have a corner which they whip in towards the near post. Benjamin Rubio, I believe that was, dealing with that, but they are still on the attack. Pepe trying to put one into the mixer, falls back to Cisse, and he gets another crack. Henry on Yakiru, who got the goal in that opening leg. Nice ball there for Lucas Holler, and tucks it away, and almost out of nowhere, they do get a goal back in this game. It's been another one which we have been quite dominant in stats-wise, as you will see at half-time, but yet again, right before that time, they do strike, and that makes this tie very interesting. 2-1 up 3-2 on aggregate with only a few minutes left in the first half. And not long before halftime at Hall, we do have a free kick and Imbayamba's there at the far post, but the assistant referee puts his flag up. It gets ruled out for offside, albeit that one looks really close. Not so sure about that, but we will head into halftime with a 1-goal advantage. A very good half from us, albeit just a little bit frustrating that we let that late chance through from Olympiakos, but fairly encouraged with how we are playing in the second leg, and we do have that 1-goal buffer, which is nice. We'll get some of these players on yellow cards, easing off tackles. No changes yet, and hopefully we can hold on to this advantage to make our way through to that Champions League playoff for the third straight season. Early highlight here in the second half, a free kick, far post, looking for it again there, but Swiderski puts it wide, and it does remain 2-1 early in the second half. 54 minutes gone now. Olympiakos were on the attack there, but a little bit of a lucky clearance there from Corbo. Just takes a nice deflection, and we are able to tidy things up and look to get something going here down this left-hand side and play it back to Corbo, who starts to make his way into the opposition half and just slides that across for Gautason. Now drives forward again here. Does the Italian stallion defender over to Nicolucci Caviglia in Carlo inside the box. Lovely ball there for Porstein Anason. He gets another goal. He is having a blinder across these two legs here against Olympiakos. He has got 3 of our 4 goals, and that is exactly what we needed. A cushion goal to get the scoreline out to a 2-goal buffer, 4-2 on aggregate. Nice work there from Carlo. Finds Anason in good space right inside the centre of the box, and we have our 2-goal advantage back just shy of the hour mark. And not too long off the back of that third goal, we are going to make our first substitution. Nicolucci Caviglia would get suspended if he picked up another yellow card. So with that in mind, Gavioli can come on for him. 4-2 on aggregate with a half hour left of the second leg. And a corner in our favour not long off the back of that substitution. Gavioli puts it there for Corbo. A bit of a loopy header, just kisses the upright, and it does remain 4-2 on aggregate. Okay, 70 minutes gone now. It's time for us to make our second substitution, and it will be the return of Patrick Nygaard. Swiderski down to a red heart. Anason can cover that Mazzala role, so that's what we will get him to do. Bring back Patrick Nygaard at right wing. That will be a good little improvement in the overall quality of the team, especially you can see there at right wing. Second sub used, still 2 goals up with 20 minutes left. And yet again, shortly off the back of that substitution, we have another corner. Cadena there, and he gets his head on the end of it, picks up a double himself, and that is a big goal, giving us a 3-goal advantage with 17 minutes left. And we should be in a good position now to make our way through to the Champions League playoff. This time we get a little bit of help off the underside of the crossbar, and with 15 minutes left, we are 5-2 up on aggregate, and time for us to make our last substitution. Cadena down to a red heart on a hat-trick, but we will save him for that Champions League playoff. Biakazon can come on for him. 3 goals up with 14 minutes left. 86 minutes gone. Olympiakos are on the attack here, but hopefully that 3-goal buffer is enough to see this through. Nice ball there, although Ian Carlo with a clearance does give it straight back to an Olympiakos player though, and they look to get something going there through Rob Holding from the back. Hollow, the goal scorer, gets that out to Masolas down the left-hand side. Let's hope we can hang on here. Nice ball at the far post, and Andre Hahn makes it 4-2 on the day. Only their second shot on targets. That is quite frustrating. I think we're just going to slow things down here just a little bit, start time wasting, and see if that helps us secure this advantage. Don't want them getting another goal here inside the last 4 minutes plus added time, but a well-worked goal. Onyekiru gets an assist to go alongside his goal from the first leg, and they do make it a 2-goal gap, but with not long left now in the second leg. 1 minute of regular time left plus 4 of added, and they have a free kick. Rob Holding thankfully just puts that over the bar, a goal there, and that would have made things very interesting, but we should hold on here and make our way through to our third straight Champions League playoff. Indeed we do. Really good performance this time from us, a bit better than what it was in that first league. Probably should have won it a little bit more comprehensively. A little bit disappointing that they scored 2 goals from their 3 shots on target there, Olympiakos, but good games from both Anason and Cadena. Picking up doubles sees us pick up a 4-2 win in the second leg at home, and we go through 5-3 on aggregate, and we'll come back shortly and probably confirm that will be coming back to take on Young Boys in the Champions League playoff in tomorrow's episode. Indeed, here are the results from those other third qualifying round games, and as you can see right below our result, it was 1-1 in the second leg, which meant Young Boys went through very comfortably, 6-2 on aggregate. Other teams that did go through: Shakhtar, Kukuriki Stankom getting over the top of Rangers, which is a big surprise, Maccabi Tel Aviv and Hammarby out of the Champions path and over to the league path. The teams that won there are Brøndby, Feyenoord, Austria Vienna and Oostende of Belgium. So those are the teams who will be taking part in the Champions League qualifiers. And in tomorrow's episode, you can see there, if we make our way up a little bit, we are taking on Young Boys. It is a return to Wankdorf for us, and hopefully we can make the Champions League group stage for the second season in a row. Young Boys currently 6th in the Super League, but we'll just make sure about that. Indeed, the league season has actually started, so we get a little bit of a guide on these guys from this, something which we haven't been quite able to do with the other teams that have been playing so far. A little bit of a rough start for those guys, but by the time we do get into tomorrow's episode, they should have some match fitness, and we know they are a pretty capable team after taking them on in the Europa League a few seasons ago. But with that win over Olympiakos, we are now at worst going to end up in the Europa League group stages, and that would not be a bad competition for us. I do feel like we should be able to finish inside the top 3 of a Europa League group at this stage of the save. But that will do it for today's episode. If you did enjoy that win over 2 legs against Olympiakos, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying this series here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. And until tomorrow, we've got that game against Young Boys. Can we make the Champions League? And hopefully an update on that bid for Chadwick. Until then, thank you very much for watching. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.